Kunkka has looked great, has a very high win rate as well. That will, however, be played by Ace in the offlane. I feel like mostly we've seen the mid and carry position, but of course this hero can go to all the roles. Drow has also seen a resurgence, so plenty of good heroes where Gaiman are coming from. And my biggest concern for Aurora is dealing with the souls. We're talking about that too. Do you have the lockdown? We'll see. Malady.
Nightmare up. Gets down to half HP, gets the Nightmare off though. I don't think anything's going to turn into a first blood. As Mira gets to the high ground. When I say that, they're going to continue to pursue, it seems. I mean, Malady, very good level 1 hero. Blood Grenade comes out again onto Panto. Doesn't have Nightmare for 5 seconds, and this actually looks like it will be first blood potentially. Pops the fairy fight out of the cover of the tier 2. Uses Nightmare on himself, and the Ether Shock. Still not enough. My goodness, as close as it gets. Still no first blood.
After everything is set, they get 4 bounties. Wow, that was such a long chase for Gaming. They completely compromised their map positioning to get the runes. And oh, you're on Aurora's side. You're very happy with that start. Not only did you dodge a bullet on Bane, but you got all the wisdoms would be nice too. But all the bounties.
Yeah, we'll see.
You're immediately accepting that this top lane is not going to be played normally. He will be pulling the wave here on his techies. Oh,
yeah, let's talk about tech. Why is this hero not picked?
I don't know why it is picked.
No, okay.
This game.
Why is it so bad then? Malady. Blast off. Able to walk away as Quinn and Kiyotaka. This is going to be a very, very spicy mid lane.
Malady must be dead here. Sure.
Dota Tokyo is there to finish the job. It ends up being a trade of supports, but like the panel was saying, Timbersaw can rip right through the Undying.
I always have a hard time placing techies, is my honest answer. Like, it's one of those heroes where you need to play it a lot, I think, to really appreciate when it's good in a draft and how to operate it. The main thing I'm looking for as a lane partner when I'm playing with techies is that I have somebody who can burst with him during the stun, so that's nice, at least with Timber.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they had Timber on their minds immediately when they picked the techies and what they picked it against. Maybe they liked the matchup against Undying. You have very high range. You do decent damage. I'd be a part of it. It's not an obvious techie scheme, at least as far as I'm concerned. One secondary upside is the enemy's inability to break mines. Generally, the mines work worst against heroes that can just low commitment remove them, like illusion carries or summoned units. There's none of that either.
They also have 2 very, I mean, not that techies attack particularly fast, but 2 very long-range attackers for Tombstone have something to do with it potentially. Win.
I think if you want a Tombstone killer position 4, you pick Snapfire, right?
Yeah, but then you're stuck with Snap.
She's not bad, is she?
I don't know. We haven't seen her, right?
I think Snap in theory would be quite good this patch, but
when have you been right?
That's right.
Happy to see the hero, Cinder. All right, for once I'm trying to be positive and you're shitting all over it.
No, I think it's fine. You hate it so much. Okay, I hate it. Very biased against Tim. Oh, Mira.
Ooh, Quinn. 30 HP, lives through the swatch. He is up in the CS by a bit at the moment.
He needs to be careful with sticking around. Kiyotaka has another salvo of spells in 3 seconds. He looks like he's setting up for it.
Yeah. Enough though.
With the Tango running and the Fairy Fire.
Very volatile matchup here.
For sure. It's also volatile later on in the game. Interesting one. Strongest one with 0 detect the Tango.
Right for it again. Not enough mana. 40 mana off.
Quinn did the math.
He certainly did.
For Water Rune, this would be a huge one to take away. Panto is on the way, but I think he's too late.
No, gets the Nightmare.
Narrowly.
Quinn bottles it up. Going to be pursued though. Kiyotaka chasing. Double shield crash. That's
Burns,
enough.
Doesn't it?
There's Mira coming from the other side. The sticky bomb applied to Tofu. Kiyotaka, he's going to get shackled under the cover of the tower. Mira's going to have to get some aggro off of it, but he's not going to do it in time. Okay, he does. Just barely. In the cover of the trees now. He can get the Hex off. Sticky bomb available again. That'll be enough.
He also has the healing salve on the techie, so he can actually stay in the fight here. If he salves up, chooses used to linger in the area. Kirtaka doesn't need to go back to base since there's a secondary water rune for him. So he's able to fight once more. Mira is being scouted out by 2 melee creeps that are randomly following him. It's a very interesting situation.
I wouldn't say it's random necessarily.
Fair enough. Touché.
What do you think of the Watson Drow pick?
It's solid. You have a good laning partner in the Undying. The heroes that you wanted to counter at the time were Lina and Pango. Drow has one of the better heroes against Pango. Massively
When
exactly what I was saying.
That is unfortunate for Gaiman, but they at least get Toronto Tokyo in the top lane.
Without a doubt, a good trade for Aurora, though.
Yeah, Quinn, second death for him, and bigger on top of that is that his TP's on cooldown for 23 seconds, so we'll have to either wait or walk back the old-fashioned way. You're gonna be surrounded. Will be the death of him. Should mention that he did take the facet that makes blast off stronger.
Amazing what you found.
Easily the highest win rate facet on this hero.
And the least interesting.
Yeah, it's probably the reason this has so much of a higher win rate than the other ones, that people don't go stupid builds when they take this one.
The other ones sound cool. I can't blame people, honestly.
It's kind of like with the Clockwork one. The armor one just has easily the lowest win rate because then you get baited.
Who doesn't want to eat chainmails? Kiyotaka. No, he has the Rolling Thunder at the ready. Quinn's still level 5. Malady. He grouped up with Tofu as well. This has turned into a tri-lane, it seems.
I mean, current Dota is actually so fascinating the way you play around mid.
I like it.
All it took was the change to shovel.
Well, that's not true. The bottle from the courier, I think, is huge. Or not just the courier, but being able to TP bottle refill.
Yeah.
All of that.
All of those changes add up to putting a lot more emphasis on winning your mid lane.
Funny how these like little things. I mean, that was considered a bug, I believe. Like really early on, they just kept it in. It's like a feature. Okay. It's funny how stuff like that can have such huge impact on the game. I definitely prefer it the way it is now. That's ace. Oh man. The Wisdom Shrine, Panto. Kiyotaka. All right, they're gonna get the Laguna Blade onto Malady. He's gonna get dropped right off the bat. Kiyotaka with his ult as well. Quinn trying to force Panto out of the circle. And Quinn will be the gladiator that wins. As Panto eventually drops a good contest from Aurora, but Gaiman shut it down.
Yeah, if you get Tombstone off there, it's tough. I think Aurora with the right call there to back off afterwards. It was all right, you know, the 1-for-1 trade, your 4 rotations, kind of inconsequential overall. That is it's good news for Gaiman when Pango makes that rotation and you don't lose it, because Pango generally one of the best heroes in Dota at fighting that 7-minute wisdom. Incredibly powerful. On top, onto Watson.
TP's coming for him. Wand is 8. Take a rolling death to the face. As the super chain mistimed a bit, and now he's in trouble. Toronto Tokyo getting off the chakram again, trying to exit, but Malady is there with a decay. Panto trying to finish off Watson, but Malady with the heal. Not being shut down by Gaiman as the TP is successful here. Gets the nightmare, okay? What's the play here exactly?
Yeah, what's the end game on this play?
All right, gets X'd. All right, he wastes a lot of time. That's what we'll call that. And he makes them use extra mana on the gate because you cancel it, right?
Yeah, now he went through the second time. Now he's out of my. Oh my god.
Nightfall. Nightfall. Runs right into Ace. Okay, Laguna Blade to the back of the head with the LSA to follow. I think Ace just walks away. Fine. All right. Interesting engagements.
Through the surface music. What was that? That's so funny. Stops the gate, then he comes through the gate, and Aurora springs the trap that, like, yes, this is what we set up for, and then it doesn't. I mean, they send it back to base. I think all in all, that's probably a net positive play for Panto. It's this funny one. Yeah. One spell available for the Lina. Should be enough. Come on up.
But I would think so.
The attacks will do it. Actually, the range creep getting the last hit. Well done.
Nice one, bro.
Yeah. Thanks for the help. We love the creeps until we don't.
Toku taking the twisted testicle facet.
Yeah.
to be the more common one, right?
I think the more common one is Twisted Chakra.
Okay. Like I said.
Yeah, sorry, English is my second language.
Yeah, you speak it better than me.
At least I used the correct word.
You talk a bit low on mana as reinforcements arriving for gaming.
10-minute rune time. In just 3v3 mid.
It's illusions only, so Malady will be snagging. Tackle. A nice full rip, but now the tombstone is clean. The silence applied now. Getting off his ult, but no. It actually does go off and he dies inside of it.
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario. Now he doesn't have it when he comes back to life. Even with a good collapse there, they don't get the rune for Quinn, but they do get the rune for themselves, and they actually don't die the tower, and now it's Phantom.
Oh yeah, that is a lot of damage. Early group up from Gaming Gladiators. We've seen it time and time again. Now they have the snakes available too. The Tokyo Company, I'm actually not sure they needed it. We'll take the tier 1 either way. Oh, and they're going to see a little juicy stack here as well.
Delightful. A little. Well, even stacking the camp for them. How nice. Very hopeful. Toronto, Tokyo. Wisely backing out here. But is he actually backing out or is he initiating? He's a little bit hesitant which of the two he wants to do. A little chill, but definitely so far so good for the side of Gaming Gladiators this game. This is the start you're looking for with this lineup. It's not a massive lead in terms of gold, but you are activating your lineup. You're bringing your Undying to stuff. This hero is very one-dimensional. He really wants to win his lane and then look for a specific type of team fight. So far, they've managed the Malady involved in every single of their kills. It's 2-2 and 6. It's an 8-kill game for Gaiman. And you would imagine the next thing Malady really wants to do is to go through the gate and get the bottom tier 1. It can take a little while before they make that play. The worst thing for Undying is just if nothing happens for 15 minutes and you're just there.
Yeah.
Hero's identity is very much about fighting.
And so denying a rune, but he might suffer the consequences. Gets off the Nightmare. Well, actually, ends up being reciprocated onto Quinn.
Quinn?
Not intended, but there should be a freebie for Gaiman.
Actually, Tombstone.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's going to be a free old influx for somebody.
Everybody can access it, but either way, then it's a nice cooldown to know is unavailable for like a minute inside of Aurora.
That's a cool model, though, I have to say.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle
sick.
tower is under attack.
Back into a very familiar spot, the enemy triangle.
We're gonna go for Witchblade, standard stuff. I've made a case for Orchid this game. You're playing against Bane, you're playing against Tango and Timber. All these big heroes hate being silenced. But he is prioritizing the scaling aspect of the Mage Slayer. Or excuse me, of the Witchblade.
Okay. All right. Really wanted an encore of that screeching sound. Thank you.
I love Bane.
Dire are scanning.
Imagine being the person that makes that voice line in the studio.
That would be, yeah, that's awesome.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Ironically,
under
yeah,
attack.
not even being sarcastic.
I think voice acting is actually really fun.
Smoked up. Not gonna run into Nightfall here. Until level 6
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
for the first grip of the
Dire's
game.
middle tower is under attack.
And the one thing that Aurora do have in spades,
They have so much damage in this game. But they don't have the most catch, and that's where Gaiman can kind of play around them well.
Yeah.
With their Storm, with their Kunkka
Radiant's bottom
tankiness,
tower is under
Drow with the
attack.
Pike.
Radiant
Watson is going to rush Ags. This is not in the most popular build, I think, to go Dragonlance Ags immediately, rather than getting, say,
Radiant
Manta on the way or Pike fully completed.
Radiant's
definitely
bottom
good against the
tower
Timber
is under
Saw, that's
attack.
for sure. Oh, they actually get the Hex initiation. Nightfall on a lot of trouble. Nice Nightmare gonna block the damage from the boat into a grip now. Nightfall starts up onto 2. Toronto Tokyo in the midst of things will be stunned up. Aurora's already got Sudo. As here comes the shoot press from Kiyotaka. Deletes Quinn. Toku likely next on the list, although Lonzo is holding a lot of damage. damage onto the rolling thunder target, but it's not enough to bank yet. So a 3 for
Radiant's
3.
bottom tower has fallen.
2 cores dead for Gaiman, and same for Aurora.
That's good enough for Gaiman, though. Once again, they get the tower, they bring Undying. At the same time, it was probably possible to get a better result than that with slightly better execution, but heads-up play from Panto made that a lot harder than Gaiman were anticipating. The Nightmare laid things a lot. If Kiyotaka could have somehow showed up 5 seconds earlier, they might have team wiped. Only lost 1 or 2 heroes in total.
I mean,
It's a
so
3 for
far,
3.
this, I mean, just very early game, but also, or that fight, I should say, but also game 1. It feels like the team is winning a fight, and then somebody comes at the last second and turns it. Like, we've seen it several times now already. Which is kind of interesting.
Which you could argue is flaw, right? If it was perfect, you would have the players there at better time.
They're just min-maxing their farm, you know?
Yeah. It takes time to TP in, you know, it's not obviously that black and white that, oh, enemy team is fighting, we should always be 5. But Pango's arrival was definitely a little bit later than I would have liked to see. If you're TPing in, you want to try to let Pango TP at least first or second, because he has so much impact. But Aurora, it's one of those situations, you have a little bit of information, you TP in the supports to help, and you're like, oh, it's a full fight, I will join on my core as well. And by no means did Mira not have a major impact there. He got a 3-man blast off and put his mines down. He did everything he could. But it is, of course, going to be the Pango that's the real cleanup crew.
I'm interested what Toronto Tokyo itemizes after Ag. So Ag is, you know, you get your
Radiant's top tower is
ridiculous
under attack.
tankiness. The problem with it is, of course, it is dispellable, which at some point I'm assuming somebody's just going to buy a Yule, says Toronto Tokyo. Speaking of which, take a Hex into a nothing. Mira misses the blast off. Quinn, all right, thinking better of it.
Anyone want to hit a spell?
Yeah, what do you want to see on this hero? Because you talked about lack of catch. Like, I feel like maybe second item is too early, but like a sheep stick on this hero at some point would be pretty big.
Which one of them?
Timber, Phantom. Initiated on. Looks like they're going to clean him up. The tombstone is placed, but
Be a clean disengage here from Mira, but they get the ban. Hex on Timber.
Radiant's top tower
It's definitely
is
going to
under
be part of his
attack.
full build, but I don't don't know if you can buy it second. I think you have to buy BKB along with your Axe this game so you can stay in the fight. The problem is, even with Aghanims, you're going to get kited and controlled a lot for Shadow Shaman, Kunkka,
Radiant's
random
top
stuff,
tower has
Gus.
fallen.
So I'm assuming he will go Axe BKB, but then I kind of like it third. He goes Axe Shiva and he just feels invincible and just stays in the center of the
Radiant's
fight.
top tower is under
But
attack.
I don't think you're invincible here with the Shiva necessarily. They get a dispel for the Axe at least.
it's actually going to be a super easy kill.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Let
attack.
me get a big one.
This game quite well. Now
Malady.
he is gonna.
He gets off his ult, and now he's less juicy of a target. Depending on your perspective, of course. Used to not be that big of a fan. Remember casting with me and we'd make fun of how bad the ult was? Like, oh, he pops this useless thing.
Yeah, it's
finally
come a
made it
long
good.
way.
It finally made it good.
Then they gave him Grab Ally.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
And they renamed it.
It will always be grab ally. Don't care what happens. Yeah, why would they rename it? Of all the things.
Because you kept saying Grab Ally.
Who cares? That's fun. Don't take away people's fun. It's a video game, for God's sake. There's a Mjolnir for Nightfall. Some action down here. Toronto, Tokyo. We will get hexed. Oh my God, Quinn just gets deleted. They were waiting for him. A big fade coming from Aurora. Shield passes with him. Okay, interesting target. They'll get the last of it regardless here. Trying to take out the tombstone. It is taken out of Nightmare blocked. The damage again. That's Toronto Tokyo getting the high ground. You can see the hypothermia is wanting to work on him. Regen, but the chase will continue. Kiyotaka still had his ult. Watson applying a lot of pressure to Nightfall about the Essence Ring as Kiyotaka burning all the mana of Watson. With no other members that close. Kanto do too much here. That might just be the end of the fight. You can see the lack of catch from Aurora. They were waiting in the wing, Cinderant.
Yeah. It's also cool to see Kiyotaka go Yuos this game on the Pango. That's not been... That might be his first game in the tournament that he does this. The Kunkka defensive tool against Just the Drow and is like multi-purpose.
I feel like a lot of Pangos are, and the fact that this is Kiyotaka doing this, they're a little too greedy, I feel like, at times. The Eagles does go off. Kiyotaka will get the swash. Nice nightmare. Immediately take it off the sword. A lot of men trying to finish off Kiyotaka. Shield crashes there. He'll be able to exit.
Panto's fighting is exceptional this game so far in the Bane. All his nightmares are high impact. He times them perfectly to block. Any damage.
Shaded on it. Into the gusto. This will be the death of the techies, or funny bomb man if you ask Blacks.
Yep.
Now the aghanim scepter finally finished. Working that forever to come up to Tokyo.
Big upgrade though.
Oh yeah.
There's no removal currently on the Dire team. Nobody's tying it up either in general.
Will be the target to start. The Twisted Chakram comes out. At the ready, Malady uses his ultimate along with the Tombstone, but now kind of disengaging a bit as Kiyotaka shows off the Rolling Thunder. Trying to take out the Tombstone, shows up, and now this Timbersaw is melting with the hypothermia. Kiyotaka, 2 kills for Gaiman. They fake back and then re-engage and destroy.
It's like a tombstone. It's a level 1 tombstone. And the Timbersaw alone stands and hits it for 10 seconds, and then it gets healed. And the shield runs out. He effectively held himself going for a tombstone that wasn't doing anything. That's massive for gaming. They get the shield up 2 cores and get the tier 2 for that? What a dream.
Money to
You
burn.
blame him? That Tombstone looks real juicy, Cinderin. It's very menacing.
It's not Timber's job to destroy that, and it definitely is not his job to do it while reactive armor is running. Like, you got to get something out of that.
Look at this, though. Aurora.
Radiant's top
They're
tower
smoking.
is under attack.
Despite having 2 heroes in the fountain. Who gets the shard?
Upgraded foul play.
And there's a shield rune top as well that Gaiman will secure, so... Only thing that Aurora gets out of that smoke is some ward.
They would have much rather have the upgraded tombstone.
Tofu. Oh my god, he actually gets to the other side of the trees, but the bomb is over there. Meanwhile, blast up on the other side. Taking out the Eagles. They can run a little bit longer. Quint focusing on his big kill. Tidal wave. Gaiman Gladiators get a big one again. Only at the cost of Tofu.
Dyer's top tower killed.
I wonder if
Dyer's
just
top
by the
tower
chart
is
down
under
Tango, or
attack.
did he have it in that fight? Because I feel like roll-up could have changed that drastically when he didn't have it.
Not sure.
Dyer's middle tower has fallen.
Another kill on
Dyer's top
Kiyotaka,
tower
his
is
4th of the
under
game.
attack.
Nightfall is, of course, progressing nicely,
Radiant's
but
bottom tower is under attack.
far ahead of Watson's Drow. Drow Ranger is still, it is one of the monster late gamers of Dota. You get to that 5th, 6th slot,
Dyer's
unaccounted
top
for
tower
Drow
is under
will
attack.
3-shot cores in the late game sometimes. Really got to be careful you don't give Watson too much of the game. So far, so good for him, 6-0-4. Yeah, planning his touchdown now too. Got a lineup is incredible around there. You got a Shot Ward, you got they'll get it. Or either uninterested or unaware. They just on the
Dyer's
Drow.
top tower is under attack.
High ground time.
Definitely isn't.
For Gaiman it is.
Well, okay, we'll see. I'm not a big believer in them going high ground yet. Maybe they find a way to eventually take on two.
Visibility.
They find a pick, then possibly back.
Finding the Rasta. shield crash, not going to do too much.
They need
The death of him and the death of the tier 2.
They need Timber in the middle of these fights. Like, if these fights are gonna last this long, you absolutely have to have Toronto Tokyo put some pressure. It's way too easy for Gaiman.
He's quite tired. Just playing first series today.
Yeah. Getting a free beat against Talon to warm up.
Scoring the 6K lead. And as per norm for the side of Gaming Gladiators, when they're having an advantage, the towers fall back. There's only one tier 2.
Radiant's bottom
Mid.
tower is under
And
attack.
that is exactly where
Radiant
Gaming
are scanning.
are applying pressure now.
Time around, if Aurora were to fight, they would be all 5 heroes set up in position. Dominant is actually top. This would be a 5-on-4, but Aurora don't know this. One go. Nice attempt there from Ace. Smart. If it connects, he can maybe find the tidal wave
Has fallen.
on the techies, but no cigar.
Toronto Tokyo talking about how important his role is in this game. For the Kaya and now the BKB just about finished. Of course, there's the use on Tofu to dispel the reactive armor ags. That's what the BKB is essentially for here.
Pento hates that creep. Just gonna nightmare it up mid-click. Happens even at this level. But I will say Sleepwalking Creep was kind of funny. There's the BKB, so okay. Now he should really be confident on the Timber. You're still tanky enough when you're in BKB and reactive armor that the Drow cannot deal with you, and none of the other heroes do any damage to you, so... The dream target.
Going to the south now. Not a whole lot of mana for us. Now looks like actually Nightfall getting caught in a horrible spot now. He's dropped to the deck along with Mira. That's 3 dead for Aurora. And it's high grounding time.
Wow, it's...
With the Aegis is for Cinder, and
Sometimes Dota is just a game of like 2%. Like if Quinn dies there, that's such a different fight, but he manages to find a way out with a Haste Rune. Aurora were missing the last little piece there, and now Gaiman in a commanding position.
Zips on to Toronto. Gets off the reactive armor ag. Nightmare to try to disrupt it. It works. Disgusted though. Does blow up, and now he's susceptible there. People from all stacks. Teammates don't want to stand near. Toronto Tokyo is dead for 50, and the high ground has arrived for Gaiman. 1 minute on the Aegis. They're going to get plenty.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
40 seconds.
And the crazy thing is Watson is not even, I mean, obviously he's important right now, but his farm gets so much
Radiant's
bigger
middle
in
barracks
this
are
game.
under attack. Radiant's middle
Worked out
barracks
wonderfully for Gaiman. 1,000 advantage game with an Aegis. Pretty rare we see that go to 5 hit.
under attack.
They're not done yet. Bottom lane. This is kind of already last stand territory for Aurora. 28 minutes in.
Radiant's bottom tower
Back up to full resources in spite of that fight just happening. Rifle find it from Mira, but can't get the job done against
He just gets destroyed. Watson. I mean, the Drow versus the Pango can sometimes be pretty bad in the late game scenarios, which is 28 minutes in, so I don't know if I call this late game.
Radiant's bottom
This is a second lane for Gaiman as Agent will expire here. Watson back to full mana.
Radiant's bottom
I don't see why they need to stop.
They're gonna keep going here. And up to 24 galvanized stacks, so
Radiant's top tower is under
consistently have the resources needed to continue fighting on and on. Third lane. Another 30-minute game today. That's really been the theme for most games. Pretty one-sided. Yeah. This one is no different. Gladiators will get the 29-minute mega creep.
Radiant's top barracks
Exit in time.
now have mega creeps.
Aurora not even trying to defend there without the 5. That third 5k advantage, 7 buildings. That was the first Aegis, right? I believe so.
Yeah. True that. They got Megas with Aegis #1. Goodness, that is now.
Oh, the grip. Out of mana right now. Frontis reactive armor. Quick with the follow-up. Focus off the Fronta Tokyo for Watson. Easy pick off. Network advantage really showing here. Kiyotaka will be able to find the Rasta, but likely at the cost of his own life. One more zip for Quinn, finishes it.
A bit harder next time.
And that is no buyback available for Kiyotaka. They do have one for Toronto Tokyo. Sticking around. All right, the buyback. Instant exit. Stop the multi-shot settlers, Watson. Zip from Quinn. Finishing him off, apparently. Watson, BKB. He traded with Nightfall BKB as well. Game and likely just resetting so all the resources are back up, and they will attempt to finish this game.
Control the map. There's a lot of unspent gold. You can acquire the next set of items, but again, this game kind of in the bag after they started getting the base, so everything happening from here on out is just a matter of not giving Aurora free moments of opportunity. I have to say, I'm actually surprised to see Aurora not GGing out. I would say teams like Aurora generally just don't bother with trying to make heroic comebacks like this. They just call a spade a spade. Things went wrong, go next, unless they're, you know, in an elimination game.
Well, it's an elimination series.
They won the first game, though, so there is a third game to be played. Interesting to see that pivot from them in terms of fighting it out the whole way. This is obviously a 99.9% dire win already, but you never know. Actually, it is 100% according to game. This is rounded up. All right. Once in my life, Shannon, one time I have won 100% game. The other team, that is.
Wait, pointing to the other team.
Yeah, the graph was 100-0 and we won as the 0 team. One time in a pub game. It has happened.
I don't look at that graph that often after a game, so it could have
after
happened.
a game like that, I had to check. I was like, what? How did we win this game? And it was 0.
You had any impact on that game?
I have never seen it in a pro game, I think. Never. A 0-100 loss, but be the first if Aurora did it now, wouldn't it? That'd be interesting.
I mean, of all the teams to make that happen, who do you think it would be?
Most likely to be able to pull it off?
Cold Brothers, right?
Team Spirit.
Well, that's true,
They have Ronda is no longer in the game.
Yeah,
So
he doesn't have buyback, so that might just do it.
time for the heroic 4v5 from Aurora.
Just getting rid of these buildings that are called buildings.
Yeah. They never bothered to change that name, but no, we can have grab out.
Oh, maybe if I start obnoxiously calling it something else.
Why are they called buildings? That's a good point. There's like different types. And they're all just called buildings.
The effigies are different than the buildings. The buildings are going down. Pitiful, so game in. I was gonna say, might want to just reset here again. Watson does have buyback, but I mean, this is definitely not a situation that you do that. Daedalus gonna miss Kiyotaka. X up at the moment. Lotus applied. Quite a bit. You can roll up those Toronto Tokyo come to play now. Tidal wave. Hit on one. Kiyotaka gets bursted down to the ground. Rasta stays alive a little bit longer. Thanks to foul play. Actually, safety. He's actually going to moment. Onto Tokyo. He's left alone because the rest of his allies are going to have to try to defend. Panto. There's a very tanky target. Nobody going to help. Quinn. All right. Watson has made an appearance with the Glacier as well. He's already experienced maybe. And again, the crews are hitting the building. Watson and company just trying to distract Aurora from the inevitable fate of their base. 3 dead for Gaiman as the Aghanim instantly comes back to life thanks to his innate. And now the Ancient fully exposed. Tier 4 is down. Gaiman's going to try to finish this without their Storm Spirit. When, of course, does have buyback.